Good morning. So there's somebody who was a seafarer who didn't really live near the ocean in the Bible, and his name is Moses. Did you know that Moses was a seafarer? You see, when Moses was born, the Egyptians, because Moses was born in Egypt, the Egyptians didn't like the Hebrews. They were very nervous that there were a couple of million Hebrews, Jewish people in their country, and they were afraid if they ever were attacked by another enemy, that the Jews would side with their enemies and that would be like they were attacked from within. And so they started getting nervous and they did some crazy things. The first thing that the king of Egypt did was tell the midwives who were supposed to help the Hebrew women deliver their children, he said, if it's a boy, I want you to kill them. And the midwives feared God, it said, and they didn't want to do that. And so they told the Pharaoh or the king, they said, look, Hebrew women aren't like Egyptian women. They have the baby before we even get there. And so, okay. So then a little time goes on and the king decides, nope, it's getting out of control. Let's throw all the Hebrew baby boys into the Nile River. And so Moses' parents, they didn't want to throw Moses into the Nile River, except they did. They waited until he was 3 months old, and at that point they couldn't hide him any longer, the Bible says. And so his mother took a basket and she put pitch and tar on it and made it seaworthy. And then she put Moses in the basket and sent the basket into the Nile River. Moses was both the captain of his ship and the navigator, right? Well, God actually navigated that basket to go just where it needed to go. And it just so happened that a princess of Egypt found the basket, heard the baby crying, heard Moses crying, sent somebody to get the basket and said she had compassion on this baby. And Moses' sister was sent to watch what was happening. So Moses' sister shows up at the right moment and says, hey, how about if I found somebody to nurse that baby for you? And the princess said, great idea. Bring this baby back to me when he's done nursing. And so she takes Moses back to her mother, Moses' mother, and she gets to nurse him until he's weaned. But then Moses is adopted as a prince of Egypt. And it's an awesome story that is the beginning of God rescuing his people from slavery in Egypt. And I'm probably going to be talking about that in the next few weeks, but God has a plan that often doesn't seem to make sense. Could you imagine if you were Moses' parents and you were trying to figure out, God, they're trying to kill our son. This doesn't make sense. And God put that instinct into Moses' mother to protect him, and God orchestrated a plan because Moses was going to be the deliverer of God's people. And nothing can get in the way of that. It's really interesting that later Jesus would come and they would want to kill all the baby boys then too. Because Jesus is the deliverer of God's people, the ultimate deliverer. There's something about that I don't think we can ignore. It's a sign that shows once again that Jesus is God's way. And I want to encourage you to check it out. It's the most important decision, like I said before, that you can make. Thanks for listening. And